What's up? I'm B and welcome to my channel. Today we are talking about, as the title says, all things Jimmy Snow and Gabbie Hanna. This was selected by you guys in a community tab post that I posted on Sunday where I said, what do you want to talk about? And it seemed that that was kind of a common theme, so we're just going to go ahead and talk about the Jimmy Snow, Rachel Oates, Gabbie Hanna situation, as well as Gabbie's new series. She's posted a few videos for that, the preface kind of, and then episodes 1 and 2 have come out. Episode 2 came out today, and I ended up watching that before I went on live, so if we have time, maybe we'll end up getting to it. But yeah, let's just see. Also, yeah, that's it. The other thing I was going to say is I think I forgot to update the tags for this video, but it's fine. People will know what it's about based on the title. Hi, Bless This Writer. Hi, Janie. Hi, Bridget. Hi, Katie. Hi, you guys. Hi, Lily. Oh, yeah. So, yeah, let's just give people a few minutes to get in here, say hello, get acquainted. Everybody tell me your win for the week. Something great that happened this week, something you're excited about, something you want to celebrate. And then about 5 minutes in, we will get started. Pretty Flutter by Star said, hi B, I'm busy but listening. Hello. Bless This Writer said, haven't caught a live in a while. Side note, you look great and glowing. Thank you very much, and I'm happy you are here. Hi Darnellville, how are you? Janie said, you remembered. Yes, I remembered. I was trying so hard because whenever somebody tells me like the correct way to pronounce their name, I always just want to make sure that I remember it because it's like, that's your name. That's kind of part of who you are. And so I do my best. I'm not the greatest, 100% mess up like a lot of the time, but I remembered this time. So, while y'all are typing out your wins for the week, Bridget said my win for the week is that it's over, LOL, and it's rainy. I love that. Ugh, I love the rain. Blessed Writer said, I'm nearly done with my debut single. I'm excited about that. Ooh, that's super exciting. Darnellville said, who's Jimmy Snow? He used to go by Mr. Atheist, so we've talked about him a little bit on the channel, but now he goes by Jimmy Snow, so that's what I put his name as, and we'll get into all of it. Samantha said, I finished a really hard 1,500 piece puzzle. I'm a teacher on summer break, so not much productivity going on here. That sounds so relaxing. That sounds so nice to just sit and like do a puzzle. I'm sure it was like frustrating, but to just sit and like focus on one thing sounds so nice. Quem98 said, I made a live for the first time in a while. Hi, welcome. I have feelings about Jimmy's video. My win is doing self-advocacy with my PhD program and getting disability accommodations for the summer term. That is awesome. And Janie said, I'm getting a new iPad soon as a belated birthday present. Win. That's awesome. Super cool. I've kind of been wanting an iPad. Like, I have a really old one from, I don't even know what year it is, but like my parents used to do concessions, and they did, instead of like cash registers, they had iPads where you could swipe, and so when they stopped doing it, they gave me one. So it's like pretty old, and I kind of want a new one, but I don't think I can justify it. Count Von Lilson said, I got a new job with better hours and closer to home. Congratulations. That's my win. Also managing to catch a live from you. Yay. I'm glad you're here. My win for the week is, like, honestly, just like being here with you guys, being able to hang out. Obviously, I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to make it, and this week was a little bit hectic, a little bit wild, so I am really glad that I was able to do the live and hang out with you guys because y'all are the best. So we're coming up on like 5 minutes. If anybody else has a last win or two that they want to get in, feel free. But other than that, I think we'll probably just go ahead and get started. If you could give this video a like, that would be awesome. I know we haven't seen the whole or this live stream. If you could give it a like. I know you haven't like seen the entire contents of what we're going to talk about, so I get it if you don't want to, but it is helpful. Darnell said, I'm a trans guy, so my win for today is that it's shot day and it went smooth like butter. Yay, congratulations. I'm glad that it went well. Hi. Hi, Rachel. I love how, hi, Rachel said, hey, B. Hi. Hello, Rachel. Courtney said, hiya, I didn't bother watching Jimmy's video, but I was there when that happened, and Fat Sajak did a great reaction, and I got the gist and a good idea of Gabby's videos so far. Intense eye roll. And then Caffeine Queen said, hi, pals. Hi. Okay. I had to watch Jimmy's video like a solid 3 times because I felt kind of conflicted on certain points, and I had to like really go through and process it. And I think I've gotten down to like where I like how I feel about it. Quem98 said Fat Sajak hit the nail on the head in her video. I keep getting some of her videos recommended to me. I'll have to go through and watch it. But yeah, so brief overview of the Jimmy Snow situation is that Jimmy is a YouTube creator. For those of you who don't know, he used to be like branded as Mr. Atheist, but he's kind of just moved away from that a little bit and is branching out into other areas of interest, I suppose, on his channel. And he was friends with Rachel Oates, who a lot of you know from previous conversations that we have had. And he also happens to be friends with Gabbie Hanna. Now, nobody really knew that part. In October of 2020, this kind of kerfuffle came about on Twitter because Rachel posted screenshots of a text that had been sent to her by somebody kind of discouraging her from posting her reviews, is what it seemed like. And she didn't say who it was, but Jimmy ended up saying like, hey, this is me, I didn't think it was gonna go down like this, let's talk, whatever. And it kind of blew up and then went away. And when Gabby was going on all of her Snapchat or her Instagram story rants, she specifically called out Rachel and said a lot of nasty, inflammatory things about her that were really just unnecessary, especially for how long it had been since Rachel had talked about Gabby publicly. So it was kind of odd. And then she also mentioned that she was friends with Jimmy, and she was like, a friend of mine DM'd her and was like, have some compassion, you know what it's like to have a hate campaign against you, like, be a human, basically. And so a lot of people were wanting to know, like, I guess more about the situation, like why he would say that, why he was trying to discourage Rachel from posting her videos. And Rachel talked about it a little bit publicly in an interview. And for me, like, one thing that definitely changed my perspective on it was watching Savvy Writes Books videos about the whole situation. Because I'm like, on the one hand, I'm like, okay, that's your friend. You should be able to approach your friend about something and just express how you're feeling. But at the same time, Savvy was like, you don't do that. Like, Rachel's job is to review books. So whether that review is positive, negative, in between, like, you do not do that because that is what she does for a living. Gabby sent Rachel her book. Rachel has every right to talk about it. And I'm like, yes. Like, logically, yes, that makes sense. And I appreciated Savvy making videos about it because it opened my eyes to kind of an angle that I hadn't thought about before. Because part of me was like, kind of out of line, maybe, I don't really know. But especially from the book reviewer side, I think that that was really important to point out. And just so we kind of start out with a full idea of what the message said, I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to get some of your guys' like intro thoughts on how you're feeling, and then we'll get into how I felt about his video. So, where is my screenshot? Here it is. So the message that he sent to Rachel said, hi, so I have no expectations, but I thought you'd want to know. While I don't think Gabby watches the videos themselves, I know that the reactions people have to your videos about her poetry definitely hits her feelings. I'm not saying do or don't make the videos, but I thought you'd want to know that the human on the other side of it definitely experiences severe negativity because of it. She hasn't asked me to say this to you, BTW. She told me another one is coming, and it was obvious to me that she's messed up in anticipation. Blessless Writer said Jimmy's video was so frustrating. Yeah. Janie said he doesn't watch her freaking content before criticizing it. Yeah, that's a point that I have that we're going to talk about. Sarah said, I think the thing that was really bad about Jimmy's video was that he openly admitted to not doing any research because he couldn't find it on Gabby's stuff, but he could get tiny 10-second clips for Rachel Oates, like researching what Gabby did would be any harder to do. Right. Siobhan said, I'm late. No, we just got into it. You're totally good. Blessless Writer said, Jimmy escaped his cult type upbringing but kept the dogmatic approach. Courtney said he kept saying he was talking about the tweet she made for the video coming up, but his first text says video 3 times and left it very vague and dismissed Rachel and her confusion. Yeah. So basically the first point I have, because I'm just going to go through kind of my thoughts as the video progressed. This was the 3rd time I watched it. I was jotting stuff down. So first thing that stuck out to me about his video is that his approach to addressing this was very obvious. He blatantly said he did not want to be there and he did not want to do it. And the only reason he was doing it is because YouTube is his job and he has employees now to look out for. Which, absolutely, fair enough. That is a fair reason to address something because you are doing it for the benefit of your business. But at the same time, I think if you want your message to be well received, you might want to tweak that a little bit. I have a little one here with me, so I was just peeking at what he was doing. You just might want to temper your approach so that it is better received. And I know that not everybody thinks about that, not everybody cares how well it's received, but it was just very irritating to me that it was this is clearly something that really upset Rachel, and if Rachel was your friend and this experience was really hard for her, because he said he doesn't really have, he's I don't hate her, I don't have any bad feelings towards her, maybe one day we'll talk again. You would think that it wouldn't be such a burden to you to address something that you did and something that you outed yourself for doing, because Rachel hid his name when she posted the screenshot. So the only reason people know it was you is because you said something. So just address it. Quem98 said, and then he told his critics to kick rocks. Yeah. Peapot Fairy said, I started watching Jimmy in 2018 and unsubbed from him last year. I unsubbed last year when he reacted to mild and, in my opinion, accurate criticism by cussing people out in his comment section. Oh gosh. Peapot Fairies also said, makes sense that he and Gabby are friends, lol. Yeah. Janie said, love to the little ones. I will give them your love later, because if I address him now, he'll be way too interested. He's on his tablet in his room. But yeah, so just his approach and just blatantly being so irritated that he had to address something that he did was incredibly off-putting to me, and it just gave the entire thing a very tense feel, but at the same time it was very smug. It was yeah, I'm friends with Gabby, you don't know half the people I'm friends with, this would blow your mind, I'm so great at arguing, so I took it easy on Rachel, and just the whole energy of it was off-putting to me. Then bragging about being friends with Gabbie Hanna and other controversial figures. Something that really, really bugged me, and this is not necessarily in relation to Rachel, but the fact that he said, you should root for my existence to make her better. What? Who takes that approach to friendships? I don't understand that thought process of oh, well, if I'm friends with somebody you don't like, you should hope that I make them better because I'm so incredible. And I'm all about having a healthy sense of self-confidence, but I also, yeah, Blessless Writer said he also said he was friends with Gabby and others to improve them with his existence. Pretty sketch vibes. Right, just be friends with somebody because you like them, or be cordial with somebody because you like them. I mean, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with being friendly or being kind to people who you have opposing views with, depending on the view. But you shouldn't say like, well, I'm going to be friends with them so I can change them. No, it's just, I'm going to be friends with them because they're a decent human being and I'm a decent human being. And maybe we don't agree on everything, but maybe we can find some common ground and, both have a mutually beneficial relationship with each other. Count Von Wilson said, yeah, I'm considering unsubbing from Jimmy too. Sad because I was so fond of him, but it's like he's past his golden age. He's back to being kind of aggressive all the time. Quem98 said, yes, super smug. Evil Little McNugget said, Jimmy is open about being emotionally abusive in the past. The situation makes me feel like he still has a lot of fleas. Yeah, it was just really odd the way that he talked about Rachel, and it seemed like he perceived himself to be... he didn't say this at all, so I don't want to like put words in somebody's mouth, but it seemed like he thought he was more intelligent than her, and he was smarter than her, and she just couldn't get it, is what I felt like. Christina Hansen said, self-confidence should not mean butting your head into something, not involving yourself. Yeah. And then the other thing, which you guys brought up already, sorry, I'm sitting on my feet. The other thing that you guys brought up was lack of research. He claims proudly that he did not know what Gabby said about him, and he had never watched a Rachel Oates video. Okay, if somebody as big, especially if somebody said something about me that I knew personally, if they said something about me on the internet and I was addressing it, I'd probably want to know what that was. But especially when it's somebody as big and as controversial as Gabby, and he said in his video, he knows that she can react like, oh, I don't know how people will react when they're angry. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if she said something a little bit extreme. Like, you should probably want to know what it was she said that you said, because it was very different from what you said, and your friend is falsely representing you. So that might be a conversation that you would want to have. Secondly, never watched a Rachel Oates video. So one, you like don't support your friends. And yeah, you shouldn't have to watch like every video of hers if you're not necessarily interested in the content. It's not your favorite thing. But if that's your friend, I would think you would want to like support them in that way. Like, just at least watch a video, at least know what kind of content they're putting out there and help them by giving them views. Not that like Rachel's necessarily like a super small channel. She has a good following, but at the same time, support your friends. It's like, I don't know. I don't think I would ever be friends. I'm like not really friends with people on YouTube. I'm friendly with other people on YouTube and I watch their content. So if I was really good friends with somebody like he claims he and Rachel were, it just makes sense to me that you would support them in that way. And then the other thing with him not ever watching a video of hers is, how are you going to approach her about the kinds of videos she's making if you've never seen one? If you don't know what her videos are like, if you don't know what her attitude is and if her critiques are fair or if she's just coming on here blasting people, how are you going to send a message meant to influence her actions and how she creates her content, therefore how she does her job, if you don't know how she does it in the first place? Christina Hansen said, how were Jimmy and Rachel friends but have never seen a single video, which would be how they might have met? No idea. Charmaine S. said, the video made me feel like he was using the situation with Rachel as a scapegoat for his own failings. Just the first 2 sentences made me turn the video off for that reason. Emily Crest said, I got the I'm smarter than you impression too. Okay. I was like, I don't want to like say he said this or say that he like gave off this impression, but that's what I got. Not sure if anybody else did. Yeah, Erica said if my friends had a channel, I'd be their biggest fan. Exactly. Absolutely. Blessed Writer said, literally telling your woman colleague how to do her job. LOL. Yeah. Evil Little McNugget said, Jimmy is ND neurodivergent, so I can understand struggling to pay attention, but at least watch the Gabby reviews on 2 times speed so you aren't completely ignorant to the situation. Yeah. Or, I mean, Watch it on 2 times speed. Oh, I thought you were talking about the, like what Gabby said about him. Because he's like, I couldn't find the clip of what Gabby said. I know this isn't related to your content, but it like brought this up in my brain where he's like, I couldn't find what she said. You have a lot of subscribers. Like, there are a lot of people who watch you. If you put on your community tab, hey, I'm trying to find this. Does somebody have it? I guarantee you somebody would have been able to send it to him very quickly. I guarantee it. And then Evil Little McNuggets, what you said, yeah. It's like, just watch the older ones and see if you can understand where Gabby's coming from, if they really are extra harsh, or maybe you can watch them and go to Gabby and say, I know you're really worried, but these seem to be pretty fair to me. So, just don't talk about stuff that you don't know about. You have not watched a single one of her videos, so how are you going to tell her how to make a video? And then the other thing about the message is, we all think, like, according to the message and according to the, like, common brain, you would think that it was about how to make her video. Jimmy says, no, I wasn't messaging her and telling her how to make her video. I was messaging her because she was putting out inflammatory tweets about, is it possible for poetry to make you physically ill? And I thought that that was wrong. Okay. You didn't mention the tweets, though. You mentioned the videos, and you know that Rachel's a YouTuber, and as a YouTuber, you want to get interest in your videos before you release them, so people are more likely to be on the lookout and be excited about them. So if it's about the tweets, why are you mentioning the video? Like, you know how this works. Christina said, then what were those messages about then? Right. In the video, he literally says that it wasn't, like, I've never seen a Rachel video. It wasn't about the video. It was about the tweets. Then that should have been what you led with. And that leads me to my next point, which is the entire fallout is a very unfortunate thing. The fact that, so much drama has come from this one message and the subsequent conversations and interviews and drama videos and all that. But my question is, what was the motive behind sending her that tweet or sending her that message? What was he hoping to accomplish? Because I feel like that, to me, is important to consider when forming an opinion on this situation. What was he hoping for Rachel to do? What did he want her to do? Because the only reason you talk to somebody is essentially to fulfill a need. Like, the only reason you have a conversation with someone is to get something for yourself. And I know that sounds like, I don't know, self-centered or harsh or whatever, but if you think about the conversations that you have in your life, every conversation you have is to fulfill a need. So if I'm like having a casual conversation with my husband, that's probably to fulfill my need of having interaction with him because I like talking to him. So that fulfills a need for me. If I talk to a barista, that's going to fulfill my need of wanting to get a beverage. If I reach out to somebody and say, hey, can I ask you a question about X, Y, or Z? It's to get an answer. And so you are reaching out to her with an intention of something because you want to get something from her. What is it? And honestly, I think it makes me feel like he did reach out to her to get her to change what was in her video without even knowing what her videos were like. Because if it's all about the tweets, if seeing those tweets from Rachel seemed out of character for her, if that wasn't the kind of content he was used to seeing on her Twitter, and he's closer with Rachel than he is with Gabby, where I'm at, if I saw a friend of mine making unusually harsh tweets about something and I wanted to talk to them about it, it would most likely to be like, hey, I noticed that your tweets are like kind of aggressive, or things just seem kind of different, kind of off to how you usually are. Are you okay? Like, is something going on? What's up? And I would be checking in on my friend because their behavior is unusual. Not saying, these tweets are inflammatory. I don't usually see tweets like this from her. Let me message her and convince her to change her videos that I've never seen for somebody who I'm not nearly as close to. Courtney said, Gabby Hanna for sure went to him, otherwise how else would he know she was anxious about another book review coming, and if he doesn't watch her videos, why would he specifically think it would be about her? Yeah. Charmaine S. said, Jimmy has said a lot of things about the people he criticizes. That comment Rachel said was tame compared to those. Yep. Christina said, also Rachel doesn't owe anyone or owe anything to Gabby Hanna when reviewing and getting that book. Absolutely. She didn't ask for it. Gabby sent it to her, full well knowing what her channel is about. So that's what's going to happen. And I get it. Like, I 100% get, like, being nervous because that's something that obviously meant a lot to her. And she was probably hoping that the review was going to be good. And then maybe she saw those tweets and she's like, oh, God, like, it's going to happen again. Like, somebody who has a lot of influence on YouTube hates this book again. They're going to say really bad things about it, and it's going to be terrible for me, and I worked really hard, and X, Y, Z. Like, I 100% being anxious, but that's part of being a creative person, is putting things out there and understanding that people might not like it. People might have really negative things to say about it, and you can either decide to take it to heart, or you can say, okay, this to me feels valid, this feels helpful, this doesn't feel helpful, I'm not going to take it, and you can use it to evolve as a creator. Gabby sent it to Rachel. Rachel's going to review it. CB Bardelt, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, said, why did he err on Gabby's side instead of Rachel's? Wouldn't you believe the best in the person you're closer to? Absolutely. Like, he talks about how him and Gabby really are not even that close, and he is far closer to Rachel. So you're gonna let Gabby Hanna get in between you and somebody that you have a really good, solid friendship with? I wouldn't, but that's just me. Janie said, I'm tired of YouTubers using their audience's ignorance about running a channel against other creators. Titles and thumbnails and tweets are the way they are for reasons beyond bad. Yeah. Sarah said, I don't get why he wasn't upset over Gabby's misrepresentation of his words. What she misinterpreted was way worse than Rachel Oates. Because he didn't know what she said. Apparently, allegedly, he didn't look at it. He said, I don't know what Gabby said, but if she said anything other than what I just told you, it's wrong. Which does not make sense to me. Again, I would want to know what somebody said I said. Quem98 said, also according to iNabber, Gabby had a habit of talking smack about people to content creators in the hopes they'll make videos about people she doesn't like. Caffeine Queen said, as Fat Sajak said, he's white knighting for her attention and possible affection. I mean, he even mentioned flirting with Rachel, but she said she didn't mean it that way. Who knows? Count Von Wilson said, for me, the most believable explanation would be that Gabby turned her manipulation on Jimmy. She's very good at it, but Jimmy is responsible for his own actions regardless. Yeah. I mean, it could be that the next comment that came in distracted me a little bit. But, like, white knighting for her, I could see that. I could absolutely see that, but you're right. Like, at the end of the day, he's responsible for his own actions, and so I don't know, I wouldn't let, like, a little potential flirtationship actually get in the way, because he said he doesn't really have a ton of, like, people who actually care about him as a person, and he felt that he and Rachel were really close, and they were actually really good friends, so wouldn't do that. Eva Little McNuggets said, Caffeine Queen, Jimmy has a history of being oddly sexual open with his friends or collab partners. God is Gray is a great example. You know, what happened with that? Because I remember when God is Gray, Brenda, was having a lot of her drama with, like, the Girl Defined incident. And he, like, defended her and was like, oh, Gray is bae, Gray is bae, like, we defend Brenda, blah, blah, blah. And I thought it was nice and sweet, but did it go, like, farther than that? Because honestly, I kind of stopped watching him a while back. man, I don't even remember when it was, but I used to watch him like every now and then. And then, you know, you sometimes you just get disinterested. You're not super into what they're putting out, and you find other things, or you get busy, whatever. Like, there wasn't a particular incident that made me stop watching him, but it was like right around that same time. Eva Little McNugget said Jimmy would make a lot of comments about possibly being the father of her child. Brenda kind of cut him off after she had her baby. That's interesting. I don't know if they're close enough to have that kind of joking relationship, but all right. Emily Crest said the fact that he specifically said he only made the video because his channel was being affected in views subs. Yeah. Y'all are like, oh yikes, that's, that makes me feel odd. Christina said, I mean, I might, too, if someone claimed that ever. Yeah, if somebody was joking about that and I wasn't super close with them, I would feel very uncomfortable. I would be like, this is, you know, not really your place to like make that joke, so can we not? Why do you feel entitled to be able to make that joke as if you and I have had sex and you're the potential father of my child? No, thank you. But I mean, that's pretty much all I had on Jimmy's video. If you guys have any other additional thoughts you want to add, the whole thing, like I said, just felt really condescending to me and felt very odd. I was not a huge fan of it, and most people weren't either. And I mean, what I was initially feeling was like, if you want to talk to your friend about a problem that you're having, or like a problem that they're doing something that you don't like or necessarily agree with, I think you do have a right to do that, but it adds an extra layer of nuance when you're both content creators and you're doing it kind of at the behest of another content creator, because obviously Gabby knows that Rachel and Jimmy are friends, and so she can definitely turn that situation to something that would benefit her. So it's like you have all these extra layers going one on top of the other, and at the end of the day, trying to tell your friend how to do their job when you've never seen a single video that they put out is not appropriate. And that's not something that, for me, that's not something I would do as a friend. I don't think that's something somebody who really cares about another person and respects another person. You might care about them, but if I respect another person, I'm not going to tell them how to do their job without knowing anything. If I see something that's really just so far out of the blue, super damaging, incredibly toxic, whatever, I would reach out and be like, hey, you good? Like, I think this is kind of an issue. Can we talk about it? But the way he did it was totally wrong. And because he didn't watch their videos. He didn't know. My husband just called me, and now my father-in-law is calling me. They're gonna have to wait. Bree Burke said, I watched that video when the comments and like ratio was still on and everyone was making good points. Right. He literally, he was very smug in that video, and then the comments are off and the like to dislike is off. So that's very telling. The other thing, this isn't even like super relevant, but it was in the video when he was talking about how he's not going to read Gabby's book. He's like, oh, I feel awkward because I feel like I have to tell you I'm going to read it, but I'm not going to read it. I don't care about poetry. It's like, again, that is your friend. You should support your friend, even if you don't like poetry. Like, your friend worked hard on something. You should probably be supportive of them, and if it didn't bother her, okay. But I just think you should be supportive of your friends, and if they take the time to send you something, maybe just flip through it a little bit. I don't know. Charmaine said, I know he had a lot of issues with the people who commented on the video. My thing is that if you make a living criticizing others, you need to be able to take criticism yourself. Yeah. You know, he calls people out for a living, and so when people want to know what's going on, he needs to be okay with that. Jasmine Hill said, exactly, at least read a little of it. Yeah, you don't have to read the whole thing. You don't have to, like, send an in-depth review to Gabby and, like, rate it on Goodreads. But, like, your friend sent you something that they worked on. And, again, I don't particularly care for Gabby. I don't think she's the kindest person in the world. But if that's your friend, honor their hard work. Caffeine Queen said a comment I saw was how he would laugh if someone messaged him telling him what he told Rachel, and so I wonder if that made him feel entitled. Maybe. Who knows? But yeah, that's kind of how I felt about it. At the end of the day, like, I don't think he came out looking good. He seemed very smug. Again, it was like, you don't know half the people I'm friends with. I'm a better fighter than Rachel, so I told her to stop fighting. She's lying. Well, not intentionally, but she's misremembering things. And, yeah, it just didn't sit right. Kalarg said, when he said he cares so deeply for his friends, but not enough to see how Gabby harassed your friend online. Yeah. Yep. That. 100% that. Seeing how Gabby's actions affected Rachel should have been something. Because he's like, oh, I don't like the drama. Well, first of all, you get views from drama. Like, not necessarily YouTube drama in the typical sense, but yeah. You get views from calling people out and being dramatic. Hi.
Can I ask you one question?
I'm live. What is it? What? Do you want to text it to me? Or what?
Sure.
Okay, I'm literally on live. Jenny Dog Mom said my win for the week is my PTSD service dog is fully healed. Oh, that's awesome. But yeah, I forgot what I was saying. Rick just got home. Gone. Oh, but like Gabby really said some really terrible things about a person that you claim to care about, even if you're mad at them. And so, I don't know. I don't think I would very proudly proclaim that I was friends with somebody who caused that much damage, but it's not my life. Clem said, all while Rachel was dealing with an abusive partner and Gabby's flying monkeys, I mean stand. Yeah. So, that's what it is. Next, we're going to move on to Gabby's series. If you've seen episode 1 and episode 2, let me know your thoughts. Peapot Fairy said his response doesn't make sense because it's dishonest. Over the years, it's become clear to me that the only thing he cares about is money and views. Gabby is more socially beneficial to him. Fair enough, because there were a lot of ads on that video. And maybe he wasn't like intentionally thinking from the get-go that it was going to get to where it got, where he could put a lot of ads on a video like that, but there were a lot of ads. Caffeine Queen said, I haven't seen it. Don't plan on giving her views, so waiting to see your thoughts, guys. Yeah, if y'all have seen it, Christina just said, oh boy. Oh boy is right. Count Von Wilson said, ouch, harsh but true. Yeah. So, Courtney said she had the audacity in the preface while talking to the person who put a target on her back, showed the clip of Jessie having a panic attack to Gabby telling her she heard out her rapist. Yeah, that was terrible. In very bad taste. Like, you're going to put Jessie having a panic attack in your little preface video. Got it. Got it. Quem98 said, the series seems like textbook targeted harassment against the people she abused. Lots of pointed specific dog whistles in Gabby's videos if you know what to look for. Christina said, I forgot. That was why all this drama came about. Bless the writer said, I think the rice gum situation is one of the few where Gabby was treated horribly and she really did nothing wrong. She was assaulted and her property was damaged and then made fun of for it. 100%. Katie said, only the first episode in the pre-video, but I couldn't believe the part where she included the video of Jessie in the intro either. Janie said that phone call was vile. The phone call was horrible and disgusting and absolutely, there's no way to like paint it where Gabby's being misunderstood there. Gabby's sitting there saying, I can't have friends. I wanted to hear him out so I could call him a liar. Jessie's sitting there having a panic attack. And she's like, well, I just wanted to hear him out. I just wanted to hear what he said. And she's like, I need to call you back because I'm having a panic attack. And she's like, okay, for sure. Awful. Terrible. But the first video, I'm just going to give you like highbrow overview. Because honestly, the first two videos did nothing to change my mind about what I already thought about Gabby. And maybe it would hit different if I was somebody who had spoken differently about those two situations, but I've stayed pretty consistent on how I felt about them since I started talking about them all the way up to now. So first video was just kind of like vlog style ranting, talking about her day, what she was gonna do, and then going off about misogyny and how like people need to stop commenting on women's bodies, let them live. Like, you're just mad because people are hot. Khloe Kardashian got made fun of for being the ugly sister, and then she did something about it, and now it's like, oh, she's so fake, she's so ugly. Really went off on this whole thing, and it's like, face value, yeah, that's an important conversation to have. That's an important, like, that's a valid rant and a valid gripe. But you can tell the entire time she's leading up to the fact that people make fun of her nose. And she's going to, like, relate it back to her. And, like, Gabby never stands up for somebody for the sake of standing up for somebody else. It's always so she can, like, turn it back on her. And I think about that a lot with the shadow banning thing. It's like, I'm calling this out because it's what's best for everybody. Everybody needs help with this. It's for the smaller creators, da-da-da-da. And then she got her answers for her, and we never heard about it again. And I feel like we see that a lot with Gabby, where she's talking about, oh, like, leave women alone. Stop commenting on women's bodies, because everybody talks about me. Like, I can't say anything. And then after that rant, she goes into talking about the rice gum situation. And again, I think I might have only talked about this like once or twice, but I've always said I believe Gabby. Like, I believe that he assaulted her and it was not okay. You cannot put your hands on somebody for being annoying at a party. You cannot break their property because they were bugging you. And the fact that he went on to, like, make fun of her and paint it like she was a liar while still sending her money to fix her phone and admitting that he broke it is disgusting. However, I can 1000% understand why she wanted to talk about it, because her friends did not stand up for her. The vlog squad did not come out and defend her, like, from my recollection. If they did, maybe I just didn't see it, but, like, it does wiggle. But it's like, they didn't defend her. A lot of people were just really quiet, and he went on this, like, big media tour of calling her a liar. And a lot of people have doubted her story on that. Okay, I'm going to put something out here, and if this sounds familiar, put the creator who made this video, because I don't want to say it was somebody that it wasn't, but I think I know who it was. I watched a video literally like 2 weeks ago that was talking about Gabby and Trisha, and the person who created this video said he thinks that Gabby's lying. Like, oh, look, we have all the evidence we need that Gabby's lying. It didn't happen like she said it happened. And I'm like, you're really gonna come here years later and try to debunk something that provably happened? Something that we know happened because he admitted to it? Janie said, being dramatic about a traumatic event does not mean that no event took place. Yeah, and she was extremely dramatic at first. She said, he hit me, blah, blah, blah. But then really quickly after, she was like, I want to clarify what happened because I was really upset. Like, let me just make it clear he did not hit me. He did not punch me. Like, and she went on to be very calm and clear about it. And it's understandable that she was worked up in the moment and might have said something incorrect. But we still have people, like, somebody put out a video this month talking about why they don't believe that it happened. Why they don't believe Gabby. Caffeine Queen said, okay, wait, I think I know who you're talking about, but I'm not 100%, so I don't want to say because I'm not sure. Right? That's where I'm at. And I should have looked. I think... No. I don't know. It'll just take time for me to look. But I'm pretty sure I remember who it was. If you've seen the video, you'll know. But, like, it's literally happening still. People doubting her. And so, 100% understand why that's hurtful. And why she feels wronged by that. Because she was. People didn't stand up for her. People didn't believe her. And she got made fun of for getting assaulted. Courtney said Keemstar not only called her a liar, but platformed Rice Gum during that. But since he has continuously called Jesse a liar and platformed Gabby during Call Me Crazy, they are buddy-buddy. Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Caffeine Queen. There we go. Bless's Writer said, Repsion said something about the Rice Gum thing, implying she lied. All right. That is, in my head, I was like, pretty sure it was Repsion. But again, I don't want to, like, put false words on somebody, but yeah. So, but that was like the second half of the video, and she did really go in hard about people making fun of her nose, and I guess I should kind of make a correction to something I said in a previous video, because I said I haven't seen, like, I've seen barely anybody make fun of Gabby's nose. I've seen it like once or twice, but Rice Gum definitely did go hard for it, and just because I didn't see something doesn't mean it's not happening. So I was, like, for sure being dramatic and being like, Gabby, people are making fun of your nose. I'm sure people are, and I wish she would have included a bit more examples of it, because it seemed like the majority of her examples were Rice Gum, so making fun of her nose, so that could be something that people use to debunk it, like, oh, well, it's just him. Janie said, so happy I didn't subscribe to him. I'm going to check, actually. Yeah. There was, like, drama that went down with him last year that I talked about, which was just wild, and since then, I haven't really watched him, but I was like, you know what, he seems to kind of be staying out of stuff, let me give some videos another chance, and that was the one I clicked on, and I was like, gotcha. Caffeine Queen said, I think that many of Gabby's body image issues is probably left from the vlog squad as well. Blessed Writer said, Keemstar is a walking trigger for me. Yeah. I've heard conflicting stories about how Gabby, like, helped write those jokes and she planned some of those jokes, but you joke about something enough and it's bound to hurt you, like, it's bound to stick. And Caffeine Queen said, he's been causing drama actually with the creep show stuff. I really subbed to him for a day. I've seen that too. I saw, like, another smaller creator had to put out, like, a post talking about how she was going to be privating a lot of her videos containing stuff about her personal life because things were getting, like, bad, because she had said, like, Repsion should be saying something, and he's mad that people didn't watch his Twitch where he talked about it. Like, that's not your biggest platform. You need to talk about it here. And I guess he didn't like that. So that was essentially, like I said, though, the first video, just kind of going over the Keemstar thing, and she cried a lot, and I think that's totally fine. I cry like 10 times a day, sometimes on camera. A lot of times it has been on camera, so I don't have any problem with her, like, being open and being emotional. But again, for me, because I've always had the opinion that I believe her in that situation, it wasn't like a revelation for me. Courtney said, she's been insulted about her appearance, especially her nose, but she almost never goes after those people that actually do it, just the ones that criticize her as a person. Also, she can't talk, i.e. Dom. Yeah, she, like, does not actually go after that. She goes after people who commit, like, mild offenses that hit her where it hurts, I guess. Meg said, how long have you been live? I'm so glad I caught this. Hello, I've been live for a while now. 48 minutes. Yeah. Well, oh, thank you so much. Meg said, love your videos, B. Thank you. I'm glad you're here hanging out with us for the last 10-ish minutes probably of the stream, because that's usually how long I like to keep them, so we don't go too off the rails. But her second video did come out today, and again, it was just kind of like vloggy, talky, chatty in the beginning. And the thing I did want to talk about is I feel like she's presenting, because she talks a lot about her ADHD and a lot of, like, the editing that I think we're going to see throughout the series is, like, screenshots of things, like facts about ADHD, and she does this where I don't really know how to describe it, but it's kind of like she goes on a ramble and then her head, like, starts to blur and the words overlap and, like, the audio's layered over each other, and so you can't really follow what she's saying. And I think it's meant to, like, give you the impression of, like, this is what my brain is like with ADHD. And that's fine, to express yourself in that way. But I feel like she's setting it up to be, like, this is why I am the way I am. Because in the second video, she talks about, like, I'm not wrong. My brain is just different than yours, and you guys have no tolerance for me. And I really don't think that that's the case. Like, I don't think people have an issue with her behavior because she has ADHD, or, like, I don't think her ADHD causes her bad behavior. I don't, and I'm trying to think of, like, a nice way to say this, but there's a part in the BuzzFeed article where she's like, of course I'm impulsive and inconsiderate. I have untreated ADHD and CPTSD, which makes it sound like, oh, all this time I've had these untreated things and I'm just recently getting diagnosed, and, you know, I didn't know I had this. Now I finally have the tools to understand my brain. But I just want to put some info out there. If we go back to November 10th, oh gosh, never mind. That was a bad political joke. She said, in a recent poll, only 2% of people believe that Obama is a better president than Bush. Miss me yet? Anyway, I was searching by recent, and I found these old ones. There's, like, a creep joke, but here we go. So, like, back to 2015, she's making jokes about ADHD. And then here's, like, the ones that I was looking for, because I'm like, I don't think these screenshots say what I thought they said. June 23rd, 2011, way too effing ADHD right now. I need medication. January 30th, 2012, I wish so many people didn't fake ADD, ADHD, so I wouldn't feel so lame for actually having it. January 30th, 2012, the irony of not being able to study ADHD because you do in fact have ADHD. June 6th, 2014, I never realized how apparent my ADHD was. January 9th, 2015, I have the worst ADHD. So, like, she's known for a very long time that she has ADHD. Like, this is something that she has been aware of for an extremely long time. And if you're not aware that something's wrong, I think you have a little bit more of a case of saying, like, I'm so sorry, I could not control my behavior because I didn't know that this issue was happening, like, in my brain. I just wasn't aware of it, and so I wasn't seeking treatment, and I understand why what I did was hurtful, XYZ. But she's known for at least 10 years that she has ADHD, and she has chosen not to treat it. So she's acting like treatment is this revelation, or like that she has it is this incredible revelation, and now she finally understands her brain. And it's great that she's getting treatment and she's working to understand how her brain works. But I think it's irresponsible to present it as if untreated ADHD is the reason you are the way you are, when you have all of the resources in the world to get treatment for it. When there are a lot of people who struggle to afford, like, basic healthcare expenses, you have all the resources in the world and you choose not to. Just rubs me the wrong way. Quem98 said, again, therapist with ADHD here. She's not accurately portraying ADHD. Audrey said, hi, Audrey. ADHD does not cause a-hole syndrome. Caffeine Queen said, my best friend has untreated ADHD and can't see a therapist for many reasons, and she does not act like an abusive a-hole. Catmon Listen said, LOL, my partner has really bad ADHD, but he works really hard to make his life stable/routine so he can function better and be happy. Mental illness can explain behavior, but it's not an excuse. CB Bartelt said, Amani Barbaran, Black disabled activist, talks about how white disabled people often use their disabilities as an excuse for lateral ableism, racism, and general harmful behavior. That sounds like a really interesting, like, topic of conversation. Mm. Bless this writer said the way she blamed misgendering Trisha and making no effort on her ADHD, so uncool, has nothing to do with it. LMAO. Right. I mean, that's just you not caring about being respectful to somebody else. That's not your ADHD. Janie said it's possible she was diagnosed with ADHD, then it was corrected to CPTSD, and then they realized she has both. They could be. Of course, like, I don't know her medical history, but I think kind of, I don't know, the way I see it, I still kind of think she's presenting it as if it's just this new discovery, and she's finally being given the tools to understand her brain and make improvements, and she's using it as a way to excuse things that she's done in the past when she was choosing not to treat it. Because in her second video, she talks about how she avoided treatment for so long. Like, she got diagnosed a long time ago, and she, like, just didn't want to get treated. She wasn't taking initiative on it, and now she finally is, and she feels a lot better. Courtney said when she made that comment about tone indicators and called an ableist, I think that is the jumping off point for her to bring up ADHD all the time. Right. She's like, I can't be ableist because I'm neurodivergent. You just don't you just don't have any tolerance, like, for the way I act because my brain is different than yours. And it's like, no, that's really not it. Just you're doing a lot of, like, really super harmful stuff. And if anything, the way I see it, I feel like tolerance has gone up for a lot of people and a lot of things, and, like, people are I don't want to say, like, knowledgeable, but I feel like I see a lot more people, like, proudly claiming, instead of saying, like, I'm a person with autism, it's like, I'm autistic, and, like, they're claiming it and being open about it, or I'm neuroatypical, I'm neurodivergent, I have X, Y, or Z, and really being more open about it, and people are encouraging others to talk about it. So I don't know that tolerance has gone down, like Gabby said, but that was kind of the beginning part of Gabby's first video, and then the second part was talking about Bianca Devins. And again, it did not change anything for me, because I do think people really kind of took it and ran with it. My issue was, like, I never thought that she did it on purpose, that she, like, saw Bianca, saw that she was murdered, and just chose not to say anything about it in the video. I thought, like, because I reacted to that video and I was like, wow, like, you guys are being very annoying and this is not a pleasant video to watch. Like, I just thought the way that they were acting was annoying to me. And then when it got to the Bianca part, I'm like, they probably didn't see it, but, like, in editing, somebody should have caught it. Like, this is a really careless mistake, and people noticed. People are very upset about it. You need to correct it. And so I think the way that Gabby handled it was wrong. I don't think she was ever trying to exploit Bianca. Like, how would she get something out of that? Like, what would she get out of it? Like, using Bianca but not talking about her murder. That part really doesn't make sense to me. Again, I just think she was being careless, and when people were upset, because I think that's a valid thing to be upset about, like, hey, you have a blurb about, like, her murder in the video and you don't address it at all, and it's just right there, this is upsetting to me. I think that's fair for people to be upset about, and Gabby should have, in my opinion, as soon as she saw that, again, her brain processes things differently than mine, so not saying that this is, like, the only right way or she's dumb for not doing it, but in an ideal world, how I would have addressed something like that is taking a minute to calm down, because obviously that's a horrifying thing to be accused of, like, exploiting somebody's death for your own gain is a really horrifying thing to be accused of. And so I would take a step back, take a breath, and then go to my most public platform to issue a statement of, I am so incredibly sorry I missed this. I did not even see the text of the article. I saw Bianca's outfit and I thought it was really cute and I wanted to emulate that. And I am so sorry I missed it. I'm taking the video down. And then I don't know if she wants to, like, re-upload it with the link to the scholarship fund that Bianca's family set up, or just not re-upload it at all. Like, she could have taken it down and taken accountability and said, I'm figuring it out. Like, And just the fact that she's like, I didn't know how to handle it, so I ignored it, and like I put a blur over Bianca's face and I tried to like take it out, and she just didn't say anything. And that was the part that was frustrating for me. Is like, you're just not gonna address it. Which I get, it can feel super overwhelming, but that's why I was upset. I'm like, people are upset about this and you are not responding. You're just trying to hide it. You're trying to like brush it under the rug, is what it felt like to me. Caffeine Queen said, also, did she mention Ready to Glare? Julia's posting on Twitter that she has been blamed for this in a video, but again, I haven't watched it. Yeah, so she mentioned Angelica Coles, obviously, because she's like, Angelica Coles started this whole thing. She's the worst. She didn't say she's the worst, but she said she started the whole thing. Dustin Daly, Nick Snyder, the viewers, aka the viewer's voice, Ready to Glare, Trisha Paytas. And I don't think she said Ready to Glare's name out loud, but she like put it like names not mentioned, T-Spill, a few other T channels. But she like put those in there, and she was like, you guys are the ones who are actually exploiting Bianca and hurting her family. Did any of you actually donate? And I think it's kind of a fair question for people who were actually accusing her of that. I don't know what kind of content every single person put out, but the main thing I remember from that situation is when Gabby put up her apology, and it wasn't even an apology, like it was just like explaining her side of the story. I thought that it was really good. I was like, this is incredible. She reached out to the family. Like, if the family's not upset about it, we need to, like, that was their family member, so we need to take heed from them. And if the family's not upset with Gabby, okay, I can disagree with how she handled it, and like that's my opinion, but if they're not upset about the actual instance of what happened, other people should probably respect it and not try and push something that they don't want. But everyone was like, yeah, this was a good apology, I really like it, blah 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 blah. And then Angelica did call her out for putting tags, and it's like, why are you calling her out for that? When you are making videos about her, it makes sense that she would want your audience to see it, so she would tag you. She would tag people who had talked about it in her video, so that way they can see how she's addressing the situation. Like, to me, putting the tags in there was not even something that I was like it makes sense to me that she would put those tags in there. So the fact that Angelica like went back and was like, oh, actually I kind of take it back because you tagged me in your video, why does that lessen the impact of her statement? Audrey said she could have made a statement saying, I'm going to address it, I'm just taking the time to collect myself and put together something that will not feel thrown together. Exactly. Yeah, she didn't have to make like a full-on explanation right away, but she absolutely could have done that. Hey, I know this needs to be addressed. I am 100% planning on it, but I need some time to process and actually like put together what I want to say in a meaningful way. Yeah, for sure. Caffeine Queen said, over time I've noticed that Angelica can be very aggressive and messy. Yeah. Thinking back to the Angelica Smoky Glow situation last year. I haven't watched Angelica since that happened. I don't have an interest in her content. Also, I'm very, very busy, so I've severely cut down the amount of creators that I watch, but I've not watched a single video of hers. I was tempted, the one with Shane that she recently posted, I was like kind of thinking about watching that, and I was like, no, why do I care? Jessica said, I don't know, as someone with ADHD, I would have probably pulled down the video and then made a statement apologizing about it, but that's just me. Yeah, I don't know, and I guess I can get why she would be scared to address it and why she would want to hide it, because people do, drama channels do like talking about her. What are we doing right now? We're talking about Gabby Hanna. She knew people were going to keep talking about it no matter how she handled it, so she wants to minimize the impact as much as possible. I get that fear, but I think morally, for people who are having an issue and feeling the way that they were feeling about it, it would have been good for her to actually make some kind of statement. Courtney said, in my opinion, the tags was an issue because she talks behind the scenes to these drama channels, but misspelled them and then immediately made it about herself. It said something like, going after me is dragging Bianca. Yeah. That was the part. When she went on her Instagram stories after, I was like, okay, this is where you lose me, Gabby. The tags I did not think were a problem, but she's like, you guys really will not let Bianca for real rest in peace. And it's like, okay, like, this part's not about Bianca. This part's about you. It's petty and it's dumb, but I would have just gone on and said, like, I want them to see the video. Also, I don't know what kind of, like, exactly the tags that she put in there, but if she spelled their names wrong, it's possible it was on purpose. I know in certain videos of mine, I will spell people's names wrong because part of the benefit of having tags is, like, if I'm searching for Gabbie Hanna and I type in GABBYHANNAH, it might not come up, but if I put that tag in my video, like in the back end of my YouTube studio, somebody looking for Gabby who misspells her name might get directed to my video. So it's like common misspellings you can put in there. So I don't know if she put like one in there correct and one in there incorrect, but that could be an explanation for it. I don't know. But I know, like, she does talk to them behind the scenes, and then if she only put it in there with their name spelled wrong, shady. Janie said, "Aw, man, how many people do I have to unsubscribe?" This is why I, like, just don't subscribe to anybody, because I'm like, I appreciate you guys being subscribed to me, but I'm like, it takes me a long time to subscribe to someone, just in case I watch a few of their videos, and I think I really like them, but then something comes out where I'm like, are you kidding me? Caffeine Queen said, I think it's just hard to excuse her behavior over a long period of time and how she portrays drama and how lazy she got after the Smoky Glow situation and always complaining. Yeah, and that's about Angelica Oles. It is, like, there's certain things that she has done that are just unacceptable to me. Plus, she does, like, mini teas, and as somebody who used to cover far more current events than I do now, I would hear certain things and be like, I don't think that, like, that's not how it actually happened. That's not what I saw happening. And, like, just some of her opinions were not, I didn't agree with them. I'll just say that. And it was one of those things where it wasn't just, like, a stupid thing to disagree on. It was just like, okay. That's how you feel about that. All right. Gotcha. Not for me. Gonna back away from this. And Janie said, that was me and Repsion. I feel ya. Emily said, I made it so late. I'll watch the replay. Just wanted to say hi. Hi, Emily. I hope you like the replay. I'm sad you weren't here for the live. But you guys are talking good things about Smoky Glow. I think she is awesome. I watched her video about, like, oh, we shouldn't like, forget what Gabby did. Like, I know the series is coming out and there are certain things that might make us feel compassion and empathy, but let's not forget, like, the actual toxic behavior. And I think that that is super important, like, a really important point, because I do feel bad for Gabby in the Rice Gum situation, and I can understand why she would be so hurt by the Bianca Devins situation and why she would hold on to that, because in that she was not doing something malicious, but people took it and ran with it. So it's like, I have empathy for those two situations, but there's a lot of other stuff that she has done that I cannot, like, what's the word? Rationalize, legitimize, like, that I just can't excuse and I cannot explain. Anyway, that's what I thought. You guys are talking about positivity turtles. That's Repzilla, not Repzion. And I always get them confused. But the turtles is Repzilla, the blonde guy. Repzion is brunette. Does Repzilla still have blonde hair? Wasn't, like, colored for a while? I don't know. Yeah, Bless Us Writer said, remember when Angelica said she couldn't be anti-Semitic because she's Polish? That was a weird one. Yeah, that was super odd. But that's pretty much all I have. as the series continues, if you want to keep having conversations about Gabby's videos, we definitely can. I saw some of you guys mention, not some, one person had asked, because I shared that video talking about Anna Campbell and her relationship with minors, and I was just like, hey, like, this is an important video to watch. It's very in-depth. It has like accounts from people who were actually impacted by Anna Campbell, and it's super inappropriate, and also an important conversation about parasocial relationships. So watch this video. And somebody asked if I would consider talking about it on a live stream. So again, on Sunday, I will put up a community tab post where you can let me know what you would like to talk about if we are able to do a live stream on Friday. Unfortunately, as is the case recently, I cannot guarantee that Friday I will be able to, but I'm hoping I can make it work. I'm super glad I was able to make it work to be here with you guys today. So again, you can go ahead and put suggestions down there on Sunday. Janie said, I got them confused too. Was subscribed to Repsion and left when he started creeping me out. Repzilla is who I didn't subscribe to. Gotcha. There we go. Quem98 said the Anna Campbell situation is dark. I feel for her victims. It was difficult to watch. There's some videos of Anna, like, not, I guess it's more emotional abuse, but like breaking things in the house. And I think it was Kaylee, her girlfriend, being like, Anna, stop, like, what are you doing, stop. And just hearing it, like, made me feel scared. And I've never been, thank God, like, in a situation where I was in a domestic violence, like in an abusive relationship, or scared that my romantic partner was gonna, like, hurt me or break something or hurt themselves. But, like, I was scared listening to that. So I cannot imagine how an 18-year-old would feel, like, hearing their girlfriend in their mid-20s acting like that around them. It is just, it was hard. Like, I almost turned it off because I was like, I feel so uncomfortable right now. So it is a dark situation. I feel for them too. Quem98 said it pinged my vicarious trauma from working with abuse survivors. Oh my gosh, I bet. I believe it. Ugh, but yeah. It's important to talk about. So if that's a topic that y'all want to discuss, feel free to put it in the comments on Sunday when I put that post up on my community tab. Also, this week there will be a reaction video coming out. We're taking up a little bit of a break from To Train Up a Child. I just want to break it up a little bit so I don't become like the To Train Up a Child channel, spice things up as we're going through it. So that'll be coming out this week. Of course, people of my membership get 24-hour early access, and then the next day it'll be made public for everybody. That's all I've got for you. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would consider liking the stream or subscribing to my channel, that would be incredible. And if you have subscribed already, thank you so much. I am so appreciative of you, and I love being able to just sit here, hang out with you, and talk about whatever. With all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Please be kind to people, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.